Professional Fighters League is back in New York. The 2019 season kicked off just 2 weeks ago here in the Empire State with the welterweights and women's lightweights. There were fireworks and finishes galore. Now right back at NYCB Live's Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, the featherweights and lightweights are getting set to begin their march towards $1 million at PFL 2. Hello and welcome, I'm Caroline Pierce, joined by the MMA lightweight legend Yves Edwards. We are back here in Long Island. Excited to be back?
Always excited to be here in New York.
Another night of fights ahead of us. Look, let's talk about the PFL 2 headlines. And we'll start by the fact we've got two returning champions. Lance Palmer, the 2018 featherweight champion, and from Brazil, Nathan Schultz, the lightweight champion. They're going to have a target on their back, but like all the other fighters, they start with 0 points on the leaderboard. But they've got to bring a different level of confidence into this event.
Well, the level of confidence these gentlemen are bringing has to be financial because they've got $1 million sitting in the bank. But also, is that $1 million sitting in the bank, does that motivate them to come out stronger, to go in and find better trading partners or keep the good trading partners they have and just perform at another level this year, stack more cheese? Or is it comfort and they're just going to be soft and not going to be as tough as they were last year? We get to start finding out tonight.
Oh, I think they're going to want to stack more cheese. For sure.
I like stacking cheese.
With another $1 million on the line, I'm sure. Look, we've also got two local heroes. We've got Chris Wade in the lightweight division and Andre Harrison in the featherweight division. Both hail from Long Island. They have that local support. Both made it to the semi-finals last season before losing to the eventual winners in their respective divisions. So they're going to be looking to go one step further.
Yeah, definitely. And both of those guys have history with both the eventual winners, and they want to get those fights back. It's very motivating to see someone that you feel that you've beaten or you were really competitive with get that $1 million. So I know Chris Wade, Andre Harrison, they're going to come back and look like completely different fighters this season.
Yeah, and they've got that benefit. They're training in their own gym here. They're going back to their own home. They've got their own kitchen to do their cooking and all that stuff that really helps when you get that home advantage.
Definitely, and they got the support of the local crowd. I mean, I will tell you from experience, having those people behind you, that's a bump in energy that you can't buy anywhere else.
Well, both divisions will be looking to carry the momentum from the women's lightweights and welterweights 2 weeks ago at PFL 1. The card saw 6 finishes out of 10 fights, with 4 ending in the first round. So, Yves, take us back to the top 5 moments from PFL 1.
Let's take a look at these highlights. At number 5, we have Ray Cooper coming in against his cousin Zain Kamaka. They had some beef, but that was all settled by Ray Cooper getting that second round rear naked choke and scoring himself 5 points for that number 5 spot in the top 5 position. Then at number 4, we have Sarah Kaufman, the most experienced woman in the women's lightweight division, and she showed that experience by dominating Morgan Fryer, getting to this top position, getting that head and arm choke, and finishing and getting herself 6 points on top of the leaderboard. Then Kayla Harrison at number 3. She's the woman that this division is built upon. She had her biggest test, but she passed with flying colors. She was tested at one point getting her back taken, but she had her hand raised in the end. Now she has herself 3 points. At number 2, we have the champ, Magomed Karamov, looking just like he did last season, dominant with his wrestling, great with his striking from the outside, and setting traps, and finishing with that patented guillotine of his. Arm in, no questions asked. And Sadibou Sy, the middleweight coming down to welterweight and dominating. I mean, beautiful liver kick, finishes in 17 seconds, second fastest finish in PFL history, and Sadibou Sy is a force to be reckoned with at the number 1 spot in the PFL.
And absolutely, there he is, Sadibou Sy, top of the table with those 6 points. Also 6 points for Glyco France. He got a great submission victory. And our champion, Magomed Karimov. Ray Cooper, the third, picking up 5 points. And Chris Curtis got it done late in the third round to pick up 4 points. Here are women's standings. The most experienced fighter, Sarah Kaufman, with those maximum 6 points. Kelly Harrison picking up 3, as did Roberta Samad and Bobby Joe DL. And you can see them all back in action on July 11th. They get another opportunity to put points on the board and make those playoffs. And if this is your first time hearing about points and standings, don't fret, I'll explain. The PFL follows a true sports format, and this is how it works. 68 fighters compete in 6 weight divisions. There's 8 fighters in the new women's lightweight division and 12 fighters in the men's division. Regular season standings are based on points earned in 2 fights, 3 points for a win, plus they get bonus points for early stoppages. The top 8 fighters in each men's division will compete in the playoffs, fighting twice in one night to reach the final. And then the season will conclude once again on New Year's Eve, 6 title fights, the winner of each taking home a whopping $1 million. Well, back to PFL 2 and our featherweights and our lightweights. Let's start by talking about the featherweights, the 145-pounders. We have 4 returning semi-finalists, as well as a whole host of new fighters that we can see there. But look, I want to talk about the champion, Lance Palmer, our 2018 champion. He's going to have a test in Alex Gilpin, another Big Ten collegiate wrestler. Do you think Lance Palmer can repeat and take home another $1 million?
Well, what Lance Palmer showed us last season was the strength of his wrestling, and I believe he's going to bring that back to the cage this season. And I'm looking forward to seeing how much he's improved. Lance Palmer did everything he needed to do last year. He controlled all of his fights with his wrestling. He started out the beginning of the season and just continued to do that all the way through, getting a few submissions along the way to get himself into the playoffs. But once he got into the playoffs, his wrestling just kept going, and he kept it up. He was able to get back in there with Andre Harrison, avenge a loss that he had to him earlier in his career, and then get to the finals against Steven Siler and beat Steven Siler again, dominating with his wrestling. He's the champion for a reason.
And here he is, the champ is in the building, Lance Palmer. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, let's start by saying it's a new season, new opponent in Alex Gilpin. How's he going to test you?
It's just going to be a good test to get back in there after not fighting since December. And I feel like he's a version of myself before I got to the level that I'm at now.
Okay.
So he's like similar body type, similar wrestling ability, but not, I feel like he's just not at the level that I compete at.
You talk about him being a guy that's like an old version of you. You're evolving, and you're also now training with a couple former champs. A guy from here, Marlon Moraes, Frankie Edgar, Eddie Alvarez. Tell us about that. Why and how's that going?
It's going really good, and that was my plan for last year originally. And then Timur Valiev, who's one of my teammates now, he was in PFL last year, so that's why I didn't make the change last year. But I had great coaches last year in Las Vegas, and I still have Coach Casey Halstead with me at this fight and hopefully throughout this entire year with Ricardo Almeida and Mark Henry, so it'll be a good addition.
Sounds like you're continuing to evolve, but surely it's easy to evolve with $1 million in your pocket. I've got to ask you, what have you spent that money on? Did you get the Lamborghini in the end?
No, I didn't actually. My wife was she was so against it. So I got a muscle car and a couple other little things, but I put most of it away in some investments and try to not spend it.
Very, very sensible of you. I've got to ask as well, prediction for this fight. How does it go down between yourself and Alex?
I feel like I can finish him on my feet or on the ground. He uses his wrestling a lot, but I feel that my grappling and wrestling hybrid together is just at a different level compared to his. So I'm excited wherever the fight goes. If the fight stays on its feet, I feel like I'm way more crisp in my striking, especially the last 3 months working with Mark Henry. We've changed a lot of things, so I'm excited to show it tomorrow night.
Okay, and in what round? Because we know that obviously there's extra points on the line.